Hey everyone, welcome back to the SunnySide. I'm Sunny, and today we're gonna talk about Chiron. Whoa, the wounded healer. Oh, Sunny, it hurts. Sunny, it hurts. Sunny, it hurts. Like, yeah, it was gonna hurt for the rest of your life. Play, you can't heal yourself. And that says, what else hurts? It hurts like Chiron is not the kind of hurt where you stub your toe and you're like, oh, it's like this. Oh, we so cool, it hurts. Oh, it hurts. Oh, it's so cool, it hurts. Oh, not that kind of hurt. What the wrong with you? Okay. So, just to remind you guys, I'm a professional astrologer, and I do write the horoscopes for some of the newspapers up here in Canada. And if you'd like a personal reading, just check it out in the description box below. In addition to all of that, for those who don't know, I am answering these questions, and I do read the horoscopes, all this stuff. I do shoot these videos live for you on the channel, and I'm doing it right now. So if I get a little distracted, or if I get whatever, then it's because I'm talking to the peeps on the live stream as we go along. And if you'd like to take part in one of the live streams, all you got to do is tune into the SunnySide. Oh, please support the channel. Give it a blue thumbs up. Please support the channel. Please push the subscribe button. And if you want to hang out with us, all you got to do is tune in every morning here on the Breakfast with Sunny show, and where we hang out and we talk horoscopes and astrology. And at night, I read your tarot cards. And that's the action. So if you're into that, simply tune into the channel, and remember, it's always a beautiful day to be beautiful, and it's together that it's a beautiful day. All right, let's get down to it. And if you want to fast forward anything, fast forward is not a big deal. Okay, here we go. It's funny. I have my headphones on, but I turned everything off, so they're actually like earplugs, which is double funny because I can't hear what's coming through the mic. But so, although you guys can hear everything because it's the mic, I can't hear anything because they're like earplugs. Oh my god, do you guys hear that? That's the sound of outdoors. Alright, one more thing, just for those who don't know. Alright, well, this is how you lose viewers, whatever. I put on, to avoid the wind, I put on my wind sock. Alright, whatever. Let's get down there. Okay, so let's talk Chiron today. We had a question last night. Oh, and just making sure the computer's working. So we had a question, or a question came in. So they're earplugs to block the ear. Okay, enough. So here's the Chiron thing. So Chiron is just another celestial body that has a particular type of energy that may or may not affect you. And right now there seems to be a lot of talk. There's talk about two things right now. There's a lot of talk about Uranus, because Uranus is switching signs, and there's talk about Chiron because Chiron has been switching signs. And as a result, and people are getting nervous. They're asking questions like, oh, Sunny, what does this mean? Does this mean I'm never going to heal? Does this mean I'm never going to find happiness? Does this mean I'm never going to find love? Does this mean I'm never going to find money? What's going on, Sunny? What does it mean? What does this Chiron thing mean? Is it like a certain thing? Does like what is it like? What does it mean? And so so here we go. So Chiron is like, we all know that Chiron's known as the. Okay, so first, what is it? In astrology, Chiron is one of the celestial bodies, but it's newish, meaning everything in the astrology goes up to Saturn and Jupiter, and then that's it. That's it. That's it. Everything after that is generational. So it affects everyone. It affects everyone on the everything. How do I say this again? They call them generational because of where it's not what I'm trying to say. Let's say it again. In astrology, we have up until Saturn and Jupiter, and then we have the other stuff. So as it affects you on a personal day-to-day level, yeah, the other stuff affects you, but it's more than that. It's like the overall theme that the entire planet is going through in that particular chain of moments. So is it going to affect you? Yeah, it affects you like saying, oh my God, it's snowing outside. I better put on some winter clothes. Or, oh my God, there's a mudslide. Oh my God, a volcano just erupted. Oh my God, there's like a tsunami. Or, oh my God, the stock market crashed. Or, oh my God, there's some kind of crazy stuff going on. Oh my God, something is, and with Chiron, it's, oh my God, something is happening in the world that's causing emotional unrest. And now, be careful with the words I'm saying. Emotional unrest can be a Mars affecting your moon and Venus kind of thing as well. I'm not saying that. It's a different kind of emotional, being unsettled emotionally. It's more of something like being embarrassed. It's more along the lines of something that will cause you shame, and you can't avoid it. And so, as Chiron transit, and okay, so we're talking about, let's go to the chart and have a look. And then let's go back. So to help you guys out with this, we have the chart. It's 2N asked us this question. But before we do all of that, let's take a moment and change the colors of the chart. What the hell? The colors didn't change. Let's go back. Charts. Okay, the charts didn't change. What the... Okay, here we go. So, it all starts... Let's use the sky now, because this one is a little... So it all starts at the bottom of the chart right here. And we'll put... It starts at the bottom with Cancer and Leo. Do you guys see this? So, the two planets represent Cancer and Leo. So we have the celestial bodies. I'm going to call things like the moon and the sun planets now, so deal with it. So we have the moon is on one side here. Okay, this is where your chart is split at the bottom, right between these two lines. This is what grounds you in the zodiac. The moon represents Cancer, and that's a nice little purple. And the sun represents Leo, and it's a nice little gold color. Then we fan out. It's like a straight line, you'll see. Then things fan out. On one side, we have Mercury, and on the other side, we have Mercury as well. And then it goes on to Venus, right? Venus in Earth is Taurus, and Venus in the air is Libra. So we'll go back again. Venus in Mercury, so we have the sun and the moon. Then Mercury in the air is Gemini. Mercury in the earth is Virgo. Then we have Venus in the earth, and that's Taurus. And then Venus in the air is Libra. Then we have Mars in fire, which is Aries. And then we have Mars in water, which is Scorpio. Then these, although it's not showing on this chart, these four planets, these four signs, are ruled by Saturn and Jupiter. And Pisces is originally was ruled by Jupiter, and it's Jupiter in water. And Jupiter rules spirituality and expansion, and Pisces is a very spiritual sign, whether they agree or whatever. And then on the other side, we have Jupiter in fire, which is Sagittarius, a big fire. And then at the top of the chart, we have Saturn. And Saturn originally ruled Aquarius, which is Saturn controlling your thoughts. And Saturn in Capricorn, which is Saturn in an earth sign, which is structure, controlled, stable structures. There's no Chiron in here. There's no Alpha Centauris. There's no Cheerios. There's no like boogeyman. There's no any other kind of nonsense. That's what it is. Later on, now we may decide there's no Ophiuchus, there's no goat, there's no dragon, There's no seashell. There's no, nothing else. There's nothing else. There's no Lilith. There's no Chiron. That's what we have. It's right here. I'm not making it up. Look, use your eyes. Look, touch it. Touch your screen. That's what it is. Now, later on, when these planets were discovered, they were assigned to the chart as well. And so, as such, Pluto was assigned to Scorpio, Neptune was assigned to Pisces, and Uranus was assigned to Aquarius. And there are reasons for this, and we'll go on to that in another video, because that's kind of like going to go on forever. And so that's the deal with those guys. All right, so that's the deal with what's going on. That's the first kind of action. Let's get back to 2N's chart here. All right. One sec. We got to come back so I can see everything. See you guys. So that's what's going on, guys. That's the major deal. That's the first thing. So what I'm trying to say is, don't stress it out. These are generational things. And so when they talk about it, and when, I was talking to SLC about doing videos about this stuff, and she's like, no, Sunny, people don't look at it like that. They look at it I'm like, I look at it differently, because I'm a professional astrologer. And she's like, people want to know about Chiron in the particular sign. What does it mean when Chiron's in this sign? What does it mean when it's in that sign? What does it mean when it's in this sign? That's it. And I'm explaining to you guys, that's not how it works. The energy is colored. You guys want to know, what does it mean? But the question you're asking isn't what does it mean. It's how does it mean. It's like this. I'll do an example that should be easier to understand. So, if we look at something like this particular part of the chart right here, this part of the chart is like buying a car. All right, this here is like buying a car. So if you have like Venus in Leo in the 3rd house, this is a bad example, but like, let's go to this and we'll see something here. So in here, we have Venus in Gemini in the 3rd house. This is like buying a car or a computer. Venus in Leo or Virgo, or something, it has nothing to do with something like buying a car. Venus in here is, and like Aries are buying cars right now. Aries and Tauruses are buying cars. So it's about what color car you're going to get. So Chiron, which is this planet here that looks like a key, excuse me, in the 12th house, let's just say it's in the 12th house right now, it's not about, or like the 12th house symbolizes where the wound is coming from and what type of wound it is and how it's going to be unlocked within you. And the constellation just talks about the kind of wound. So the house system, where it is in your chart, is like what part of your body are you going to cut is going to get cut. And the constellation or the sign is how it's going to be cut. And right now, with Chiron moving into Aries, everything is going to be cut in a competitive kind of way. So things like so when Chiron was in Neptune, so imagine back to the last couple of years or most of your life until now, the things that embarrass you, the things that wound you are going to happen, would have happened in a Piscean kind of way, it might be emotional, ethereal. You don't know why it's upsetting you, but it's upsetting you. Oh, somebody said something. It's hurting my feelings. I don't know why I'm upset by it, but it's hurting my feelings. It's also Pisces is very dogmatic. It shouldn't be like this. So you're getting upset about something. Chiron is you're emotionally upset. It's a wound that's not going to heal. Oh man, that kind of shit always bugs me. I don't know why everybody got to go be like that. That's Chiron in Pisces. You know, everybody should be like this. They should be like this. They should be like this. Why isn't anybody more like this? It really, I'm really upset. Why are you upset about it? I'm just upset about it because they should be like this. They should be like, no one should do shit that you say. Who gives a crap what you say? And so, who cares about your feelings? It's your wound. Go put some Band-Aid on it and go, don't heal because it's Chiron. But in the last, in the last astro cycle of in the last little while of Chiron, that's what's been happening. People have been wounded by things they feel they should. And if you listen to the language that's moving around in the world, you're going to have a lot of that. You're going to have people be wounded, walking around with wounds because they think something should be a certain way. And it's dogmatic. Oh, they shouldn't do that. Let's stick up for ourselves. We're number one. We're number one. We're going to kick everybody's ass. All right, well, that's not going to change because we go into Aries, right? But Aries. But Chiron and Pisces is very much sticking up for the underdog. They did that to those guys. Let's go stick up for them. Or you feel shame because of other people's poverty, or you feel shame because of something that someone else did. So for example, Chiron and Pisces, and I'm just showing you guys what's going on, because wherever it is in your chart, you're going to feel it again, except in a different kind of, or it's going to move on. Let me just say it's moving on. So, okay, so what's going on is they, with Chiron and Pisces, the world, is feeling some kind of pain about when there's an injustice done to others. Pisces sticks up for the underdog. Pisces wants to nurse things back to health. So if there's an injustice done somewhere, or we used to see injustice, now we're going to get really upset about it. Now with Chiron moving into Aries, Aries is a different kind of vibe. Aries is very much a competitive kind of vibe. So wherever we see competition now, or we see an injustice due to competition. Now, of course, the competitive vibe is not going to be removed from society. It's not the point. And winners aren't going to be seen as like a sore spot. What's going to happen is it's an unjust, any good English. It's an unjust attack. Aries throws stones to say hello. Aries is very competitive. They're like, hey, I could do that better than you. What's up? Hey, I just saw you. Hey, I just saw what you did on Facebook. Great job. I would have done it better, but great job. Why didn't you do it like this? Hey, I would have done it like this. Hey, I could do this better than. Oh, all those things, all those people, they're all idiots. You're this. Virgo's going to call them idiots. Aries not going to call people idiots. Aries going to make fun of them. Oh, yeah, anybody can do this. Hey, I know somebody who did this. I know somebody who did this. Yeah, who gives? I couldn't care less. And so nobody asked you. But that's how Aries says hello. And so with Chiron here, that kind of talk is going to really upset people. So although Pisces is known as a very sensitive sign, just get ready that kind of aggressive behavior is going to cause wounds in people. And so let's look at that. Aggressive and competitive and confrontational natures, those all sound like harsh words, right? But I'm using them in a harsh way. They're actually, when Aries does it, it's kind of playful. And if you understand in Aries, you'll realize that's just how they say hello, and they're just goofing around and they're playing. And but that kind of stuff is going to wound people. That kind of behavior, the confrontational behavior, the behavior that's argumentative for the sake of being argumentative, the Five of Swords in the Tarot, for people who just want to fight, people who are poor me, and they're passive aggressive fighters, or they want attention for the sake of attention, for people who interrupt others for no reason except they're being slow and they're being needy and they're causing problems, they're getting in the way of others, they're disrupting. That kind of stuff is going to unleash a wound. And when it's gonna unleash an emotional wound, which is and when that emotional wound is triggered, people are gonna lash out and fight back because it's a wound, and that's what's going on. And we can already see that. We can see when the competitive. So once again, and Aries is they jump into the middle of things. They're like, hey, look at me, look at me. You know, they're not look at me. Yeah, like, I could do that. I could do that. Hey, what about me? And they stick their self first to the, you know, in front of other people, and it's kind of rude. I'm not saying Aries people are rude. I'm saying this kind of energy can be rude. And when it happens, it creates a wound and people shut it down. You have to wait your turn sometimes in life. You know, it's part of dealing in society. And if you don't, you're going to cause a lot of problems. And that's what Chiron does. Now, there's more to Chiron than just... There's more to Chiron than just the... Hey, good morning, guys. There's more to Chiron than just... yeah, rap battles. I hear you, Gabe. There's more to Chiron than just... Oh, do I have to move this over a little bit? There's more to Chiron than just being an open wound. Chiron in other types of astrology is considered... Hold on, let me just move this over. Chiron in other types of astrology is considered stuff that's really good. So, like, it's really good. And for some people who... In certain types of astrology, a Chiron connection is considered a fated attraction connection. It's considered a true love connection. For some, a fairy tale connection. And for some people, it's really important. And it's like this. And then we'll get on to, we'll look at it specifically in a chart. When you have Chiron, Chiron's the type of thing that it's not... that makes you say, you know, it creates that soft and loving kind of understanding within you. So it creates it opens up a little bit of wound. Like in love, Chiron will make a hard person soft and want to take care of that person. It will protect them. It's not about being hurt. It's about being sensitive. And in love, you want a large amount of sensitivity. Oh, if I'm an asshole, that's going to upset my chick, so I better chill on that bullshit. See? Chiron good for relationships. So, hey, if I do this, that's really going to upset my girl. I better not do that. Or, hey, if I go and do this, that's really going to upset my husband. I better not do that. Or my girlfriend doesn't like when I do this. I'm not going to do it. I don't know why it bugs her. It's Chiron, right? I don't know why. Chiron. Keywords. I don't know why. It just does. I don't know why it bugs her. I don't know. It doesn't bug nobody else, but it bugs her. If that's the case, right? So that's what it is. So you don't do it. Okay, it's that simple. And that's, you know, if you didn't have that Chiron thing, and you didn't care if it bothered her, you didn't care, you're not going to do it. So it's like this. If you do something, if you have the Chiron connection and you do something and it upsets your partner, and you didn't have a Chiron connection. So wait, doing something to upset your partner has nothing to do with Chiron. That has 100% to do with you being an insensitive dick. So be careful. And there's a lot of that going around on the planet. And so, but if you're insensitive to someone and you don't care about their reaction, then you don't care about their reaction. If you're insensitive to someone and you really sincerely feel like if they get upset and you feel it, that's a Chiron connection. And you're not going to do anything to hurt your partner that's going to hurt you. And that's the whole deal about why Chiron is so important in relationships. So let's say that again. In certain types of astrology, they first look for Chiron for relationships, because you're not going to do anything to your partner that's going to hurt you. So, if you're going to yell and scream and be an ass to your partner and you don't give a shit, well, maybe you shouldn't be together. But if you're going to be yell and scream at your partner and it really affects you, then maybe, you know, you're not going to yell and scream so much. And that's a Chiron connection. That has nothing to do with fate. It has nothing to do with love. It has nothing to do with an open wound. It has nothing to do with anything. Any of that kind of stuff that you think. It has nothing to do with sexuality. It has nothing to do with, you know, a psychic connection. It has nothing to do with intuition. It's Chiron. an emotional wound. There are lots of times when you do things to things and it doesn't bug you. Lots of people that you can be rude and mean to, and you don't care. For most people, no, Sunny, I'm not like that. I'm not rude to anybody. Really? You're being rude to me right now, right? And so, all right, maybe, probably you don't get it. But Sunny, but that's the deal. So, for some people, you don't care, or it doesn't affect you as deeply as it does with someone with whom you have a Chiron connection. So that brings us to the next point. We have these planets and things in our chart all the time. All right? Look, Chiron is here. Chiron's kicking around. But now, let's get down to the next thing. Everybody has all of the planets in the sky. It's not like you were born in a different solar system, in a different galaxy. It's not like you're from some weird space thing, unless you are. And if you were, I don't know why you're watching my horoscopes. But that's an interesting thing. So, Gabe says it's about respect. Yeah, good call. Gabe says it's about respect. Sounds like a breakup. It's about respect. Yeah, Gabe, it's about respect. It's about you can feel it. A Chiron connection is something that you can feel on a very deep emotional level. And so if you have a Chiron connection in your chart, you're not going to do anything to open a wound within yourself. And so if you have a Chiron connection, you're going to respect the person a little more. You're going to do something. You're going to respect the person a little more. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. And Topaz is saying it's about mutual respect. Yeah, it kind of is. It's interesting. And so what did we learn today? So first we learned that Chiron, so this is what it looks like. It's that key right here. Chiron is changing signs into Aries. So it's the energy, it's how Chiron is expressed, or the way, the things that's going to trigger it. In the past, Chiron was being triggered by things that were unjust, things that you felt should. Should is the word that would have triggered Chiron. Those guys should be nicer to each other. Not balance, a little bit of balance, but fair play. Give the guy a chance. With the bullying, you would. So Pisces really stands up against bullies, and so bullying in the past would have created an emotional response in people, and indeed bullying in the past did create an emotional response in people. And no, bullying isn't always bad. Bullying is something that as a society we've deemed causes us as a society to not like it. It creates shame. And that's exactly what Chiron does. And that's exactly what Chiron and Pisces does. And we say that and we value that because that's a generational transit. If Chiron was not in that particular part of the sky for everyone, there are times in life, there are times in history when bullying is encouraged. There are times in history when people encourage punishing the weak. They encourage putting masses into slavery. They encourage slavery. They encourage it becomes normal, everyday part of life. They encourage oppression. They encourage picking on people. They encourage it. It's part of being strong in certain types of times in history. In this time of history that we're going through, it's not. It's considered a shameful act. It's considered unjust. And it's something that causes shame and an emotional rift deep within individuals on a global level. That is Chiron and Pisces. We are leaving that time period now, and we're moving into Chiron and Aries, which is competitive. It's competitive. It's saying hello by opening up arguments. And it's, hey, what's up, player? And so there were times in history when that was completely acceptable and even encouraged. Like knights jousting. Throughout history was an encouraged kind of thing. People saying, "Oh, the Spartans are the best. Spartans are the best. They go and they kick everybody's ass." Right. Encouraged much, you think? Or how about, "Oh, our army's bigger than your army," or this part of I can blow your ass up faster than anyone else. You watch what verbal posturing. Not fighting. That's different. Aries is different. It's verbal posturing. And so, in many times in history, that was considered acceptable. Building, who can outdo the other person. Major competition and shows of might and force and strength. Aries energy in play. This is... Now, as Chiron moves into that sector of the chart, it's going to be considered, it's going to create emotional wound, and it's going to bring embarrassment and shame to the people who do that, because that's what's going on to Chiron. And it's going to be doing that on a global level. And because, once again, it's a generational kind of thing. All right, so that's what we learned today. Let's check things on a more personal level. Everybody has Chiron in the chart, very sincerely. It's not like you were born without the sun. Sunny, I was born on Krypton. Sunny, I was born on Krypton. I don't have a sun in my chart. All right, playa. Well, that's let me have a look. Give me a birth date, time, location. Planet, solar system. I'll figure it out. No problem. I'm pretty good at this action. We could always got the tarot. It's okay. You don't know you don't know your birth time. It's all right. We'll figure it out. I'm like, Sunny, I was born on Endor. We have 2 moons. All right. Let me look at the chart. I could figure it out. No, playa. Everybody, this is the universe you're born into right now. This is your galaxy. This is not some kind of star. Sunny, there's 2 suns on Tatooine. What am I gonna do? All right, that's a good question, playa. Let me figure this action out, and let me have a closer look at your chart. Date, time, location, and planet, solar system. I can figure this action out. But for everybody, and I'm going to explain this very clearly, so as clearly as I can. I apologize, not necessarily clearly, but everybody has all of these planets in the chart. All right, this is 2N's chart, and she's the one who asked me this question last night. She's a SunnySider here. And so, unless a planet is activated, unless there's a particular energy in your chart that's activated, it doesn't mean anything. It does, but it doesn't. Back when I interviewed, and she's dead now. You remember I used to, I had on my old show, I used to interview tons of really, really famous astrologers. And this one was, I really liked her. She was old and she liked me because I was young, and I'm like, and she's like, Sunny, what? And anyways, her name's eluding me right now. She died a couple of years ago. She was really sweet too. Anyway, she was saying if there are no planets in the house, don't worry about it. It means no drama. Nothing here means no drama. But there's more to it. If a planet is all by itself, it loses its oomph. Meaning, it loses its oomph. It's sure. So, and we're going to use 2N's chart right here. So sure, Venus is right here at 18 degrees. But if nothing else is at 18 degrees, then it's not true. It's not true. 16, we have orbs, right? But we'll talk about orbs a different day. But if nothing is unlocking the potential in the chart, then nothing's happening. Nothing's happening in the first house. There's nothing here. Does it mean that we don't see her when she's right up in your face? No. Nothing's here in the second house. Does this mean she has no money in her pocket ever? No. It doesn't work like that. This is her natal chart. And so these are some predispositions, but all of this energy has to be unlocked. Now, sometimes within a chart, the energy unlocks itself. Okay, so do it again. Sometimes within a chart, the energy unlocks itself. Yeah. Yeah, seriously. Gabe's making fun of some of the Star Wars jokes we made on the channel the other night. It's really funny. Obi-Wan's a shitty babysitter. Okay. And like, seriously. Yeah, Darth Vader was going through some personal issues, Gabe, seriously. How can he not know? How can he not know his wife has twins? What kind of Jedi Master Sith warlord doesn't know his wife has twins? Seriously. She's like, what? Hey, Darth, I'm eating for 3. Oh, you must really be... Yeah, I think that bantha leg is good, too. Yeah, seriously. Like, seriously? Like, you didn't figure that out? Talk about a man who can't take hints. Talk about a guy who never knows what his wife is talking about. The guy's a Sith Lord, and he can't figure out what's going on with what Padme's trying to tell him. Darth. Anyways, enough. Well, that's why we need astrology. Okay, so let's get back to it here. Now, so the energy in your chart has to be unlocked. So just because Chiron is switching signs, transiting Chiron is up here right now. We'll do that in a second. But just because the energy has to be unlocked in the chart. And we know that because the transiting moon, right here, that's not the transiting moon. We'll just go to the sky now. So transiting moon, this moon here, see all these lines coming out of the moon? Excuse me, these are aspects. The moon's making aspects. Okay, so this means this line, the moon is being activated. Moon energy is being activated. And then, as it gets, it's active, activated, activated. See, it's still being activated, 28 degrees. This is not a good month to do this as an example. But then, towards the end, suddenly it's still activated at 29 degrees. Oh yeah, right, because everything is at 1 degree. Everything is here being active. And so, but this is a bad month to do this. But there comes a time when the moon is not going to be activated by anything. And it's called a void of course moon. And they say don't start anything under a void of course moon because they say don't start anything under a void of course moon because you just don't have the emotional gas to get it done. And that's just the action. So the moon is what you're backing. It's what you want to do. And so the sun is what you shine a light. You know, the moon is what you want to be doing. And if there's no energy there, you can't start a project. Mars makes an aspect to the moon. Mars is your can-do energy. Hey, let's get this done. If there's got no Mars going up against the moon, you ain't gonna have no, hey, let's get this done. And I want to do this. I want to do it. But everybody's like, all right, player, go do your thing. Nobody cares, you know. But Mars goes up against that moon, and you're like, hey, get off your ass. Let's go do this. We going to the beach. Get up. Let's go. Let's go. Or Venus makes an aspect to the moon. You know, Venus is how you want to lovingly interact with others. Oh, come on, let's go. You're going to love it. You're going to have some fun. Let's go to the beach. Everybody's going to be cool. I really want to go. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. Mars hitting the moon. Get off your ass. Let's go. Get in the car and shut up. Venus interacting. Come on, you're going to love it. Let's go. It's going to be fun. It's going to be romantic. Jupiter interacting with the moon. Everybody's gonna be there. It's gonna be big, you know. It's gonna be a party. You might meet some girls. Or like Saturn interacting with the moon. Hey, nobody's gonna be there. It's gonna be quiet. It's gonna be cool. Let's go to the moon and get it done. You know, let's take your time. Let's go. Come on. You know, all these different things. Or the sun interacting with the moon. The sun's shining a light. Everybody's gonna look at it. You know, we gotta go to the beach over there because that's what's going on. Everybody's looking at it. And these are the different energies interacting with the moon. If the moon is sitting there by itself and it's void, you're going to be like, you know, I'd really like to go to the beach, but like, who cares? Like, all right, whatever, sure. Yeah, you want to go to the beach? Yeah, I guess. And so that's why they say don't do anything under a void of course moon, because there's nothing there activating the moon energy. You know, there's no shade or color of passion being put behind the thing that you want to do. So that's why they say don't do anything under void of course moon. It's not like there's no moon in the sky. Like, once again, Endor has 2 moons. Those guys want to do something bad. Those guys are... Anyways, enough, Sunny. So let's go back to this chart here. So it's not like there's no Chiron in the sky, but it's, you're not walking around with these constant wounds. Some people are, you know, but that's, some people are. You know, some people are born with, you know, lots of Chiron things affecting. They're embarrassed by everything. They're ashamed of some people are ashamed of all day long about parts of them that they can't hide. You know, some people, like, you know, some people are wounded emotionally, and they go through their entire life with this wound because it's part of who they are. They carry this wound with them. So, you know, because Chiron is activated. But if it's not activated, it's not a big deal. Although we are, once again, it's a generational transit, so we're all going through it. Wow, this is a long description. I wonder if anybody's going to watch this video. So, if you're still watching the video, please subscribe to the channel. And, okay, and tune into the live stream. All right, so what's going on with 2N here? So, once again, it has to be unlocked. And transiting planet isn't really gonna like, it's okay, so it has to be unlocked. So let me look at the chart. So let's put, so now the problem is people have it backwards. They think the transiting planet is the problem. No, there's, once again, when Chiron was in Pisces, there were lots of injustices in the world, or lots of brutal oppression that could have happened, and it wouldn't have affected you. You would have been, okay, so what? Yeah, I know it's bad. Yeah, I feel for those guys. Yeah, I got my own thing in life to deal with. Now, when Chiron is in Aries now, it can be, see, Chiron is here. This is the transiting stuff. Let's get rid of a lot of planets. One sec. Let's get rid of all of this. Just leave Chiron in there. For guys who don't know, I'm a professional astrologer, and this is stuff that pros do. So, all right. Oh, what the hell? This is everybody's chart? Son of a gun. Well, this is what pros do too. Pros use different software and they mess it up. It's part of the deal. All right, let's put all this stuff back in there. I like to have the nodes. Anyways, this is Chiron right here in 2N's chart. And that means, is this big enough? Can you guys see that? This is transiting Chiron right here. Now, transiting Chiron at 1 degrees, transiting Chiron at 1 degree. Okay, this is the sky. This is now transiting Chiron at 1 degree is being majorly affected by Mars. Mars is causing, right, just as I said, the void moon the moon, you have to have some kind of planet has to unlock it in the sky to feel this kind of thing. So just like, you know, a moon all by itself doesn't mean anything. In this kind of situation, Chiron all by itself, yeah, you're going to feel it, but like you're not going to like feel it. At 1 degree is important because a lot of planets are shifting right now. Mercury's at 0 degrees. Mercury's at Uranus is at 0 degrees. Mars is at 0 degrees. Chiron is at 1 degree. So in a day, right, tomorrow, Mars is going to be at 1 degree. But blue is good in astrology. Blue is good, and you know we have to look at the intensity of the aspect. We're not going to look at the intensity of the aspect. Just know that Mars, the active disruptive force, is making an aspect to Chiron. So this wounded healer thing that we're all going through, this injustice that we feel, this, you know, this shame, this inner angst, this pain, this emotional je ne sais quoi that's happening. This I don't know why I'm upset. I don't know why I'm feeling like this. I don't know why it gets me so mad all the time. I don't know. I just know that it really bugging me. So it's got to stop. That's Chiron. And Mars is pumping right into Chiron. So it's not like there's no like oh. So now once again, it's a different kind of energy. So it's pushing to resolve this situation. So if there's some competitive imbalance in the world, because it's moving into Aries, if there's some competitive imbalance, or people are picking on other people, or people are throwing stones at other people, or people are being rude to other people, or people are like... So I'll tell you how it affected me. Here on the channel in the last couple of days, there have been people who have been passive aggressive and getting in the way of others and chewing up other people's time and generally being disruptive on the channel. And I've been extremely Mars about it. And, you know, double Scorpio going to have a lot of active energy, you know, a lot of aggression in their chart. And when this wound was open in me, I unleashed some hellstorm on a bunch of people, and we banned a bunch of people. Now it's Chiron, so I didn't just shut them down. I gave them a chance. Remember what I said earlier about relationships? If there's a Chiron thing, you're not going to want to hurt them because you're going to hurt yourself. I didn't want to ban anybody because banning them hurts. You know, you didn't want to hurt them because hurting them hurts me. That's why Chiron is so strong in relationships. You don't want to do it. But at the same time, you're not going to let it go because it's a wound. So be careful about it. And that's what's going on. So right now, for everybody, Chiron is being activated. Now, let's go back to 2N's chart here. So once again, how does it affect me? You guys want to know how it affects you. So you guys tend to have it backwards. When we think about this thing, we tend to think of it like this. We think, oh no, Chiron's changing signs. How is that going to affect me? That's a good way of thinking about it. Think about it like this. Chiron is way over there, right? It's going to affect you when it affects you, but not yet. It has to be activated and it has to be unlocked. And moreover, this doesn't have to be activated and unlocked. This is the outer chart here, the outer circle, which is the transiting planets. This is what's doing the unlocking. This is the energy, and this is the astrological potential of the chart here. And these are the keys that will unlock certain potentials within this chart. And there's more to it. These are the transiting planets, but it could also very much be relationships. Different people will unlock different astrological potentials that you have within your chart. Different people will bring different things out of you. They will highlight and they will draw out of you different strengths within your chart. Just like the different time periods will draw out different things in your chart. And we'll go on and I'll say, we'll use 2N's chart here to show what's going on. So for example, right now Venus is in her first house, and that means right on the ascendant. So she's super lucky right now, and us using this chart is super lucky, and it's a big deal because I'm making a video out of it. I'm not just describing it. And so it means she is attracting very good things to her. She is also on display. This is her chart. We are looking at her, and we're looking at her in a very loving way. And that's what's going on. Venus is in here. She's also probably going to go get a haircut. She might get her nails done. She'll go to the salon, buy a new dress. You know, the moon's in the first house. She want to do something nice for herself. In addition to all of that, the spotlight is in her 12th house. So this is digging deep and finding out personal stuff about her that's just not on the facial surface. This is your hair. This is your clothes. This is your ego. You know, this is the things we look at and see. This house here is asking questions and digging deep, and the sun is shining. We are looking at 12th house, her chart. We're digging into this, and that's what's going on. That's happened. That's what's going on in her. That's what's going on. So the spotlight is so we transiting the world is doing this to her. All right, this is what's happening to her in the world. 8th house, she has to watch out with joint finances. She has to watch out with guys want to take advantage of her right now. You know, this is getting jiggy fun. You know, she's got to, guys want to have jiggy fun. You know, she want to she's spotlights on her. Guys want to be attracted to her. They're also actively and aggressively uncovering secrets about her as well. Just letting you know. This stellium of planets in the 6th, she's a workaholic. Okay, we already know about that. Now, this here is her. So let's get back to Chiron. This here is her Chiron. Now, it's at 27 degrees. So then we go and we look around and see if there are any planets that's going to bump up against her Chiron. Because just because you have a cut, just because you have an open wound, doesn't mean you're going to feel pain. You're only going to feel pain in that open wound if you take a finger and you go, ah! That's going to cause pain. So what kind of finger are we going to do it? If it's Mars, it's going to be like, ah! Open wound. If it's like Venus, it's going to be like, on that open wound, you're going to be putting some ointment on it. You're going to be rubbing antibiotic on it. You're going to be dealing with it. You're going to try and heal it. Venus is loving energy. You're going to try and heal it. If it's the moon, forget about the moon. And the sun, you're going to look at it. So let's check it out. If it's Uranus, if it's Neptune, you're going to mess it up. If it's Saturn, you're going to pick at the scab. Now watch this. 27 degrees. So how are we checking out this action here? Okay, so what's going on with this kind of... It's right at the end of Aries. So the sun is at 27 degrees. So the sun is going to unlock this energy right here. This means the spotlight to a certain extent is highlighting this wound. So everybody is going to be looking at this wound that 2N has, or she's going to look at it and it's going to come up. Someone will say something or do something. They'll probably do it like this, exactly like this. They are looking at her past, digging into her business, looking at her skeletons, is going to cause her a bit of an emotional wound. If this was 27 degrees in the 2nd house, 27 degrees down here, looking into her finances would cause an emotional rift. If it's 27 degrees over here, looking at her relationship, at her partner, would cause that emotional trigger. If it's 27 degrees down here, that would mean, asking her about kids would trigger that emotional response. If it was over here, asking about her career would trigger it. So wherever the spotlight is, whenever the spotlight hits 27 degrees, or around 27 degrees, right, approaching versus separating aspect, then this energy here, this wound, is going to be looked at once again. It's going to open a little bit, and it's going to open in the way it opens. How you pick at the scar has to do with what planet is activating it. And right now we're talking about the sun, so we're going to look at it. And sure enough, we are looking at her. We're digging into her chart. We're digging into her personal business about this particular thing right here. It's exactly what's happening. Okay, so that's the sun doing it. Now, Venus is also aspecting her Chiron. And Venus is doing it in the 1st house. Now, Venus is how you want to relate to others in a nice kind of way. So, like, if Venus is in Cancer, that means... Oh, well, your Venus is in Gemini. So let's talk about Venus in Gemini. You like to communicate with others. You want to talk it out. You want, hey, Sunny, what's up? You want clarity. In love, you need someone who can be a nice, caring partner. It's not enough to say... Sometimes, like if your Venus was in Aries, you just want someone to grab you by the hand and run off and have some fun. But Venus in Gemini is different. You got to talk about it as you're doing it. You got to say, hey, we're going here. And Gemini is very much a wise sign. You have to explain it to Gemini. And so, not because they don't understand, but because they like the intellectual rapport that happens and the communication that goes by. So the communication that accompanies an intellectual and emotional rapport. So with Venus in Gemini, you want to talk about it. You know, if Venus was in Scorpio, you'd want to have sex about it. That's what's going on. If Venus was in Sagittarius, you'd want to make jokes about it. Making jokes about it would make you feel better. And so, but sorry, not your Venus. Your Venus is over here in Capricorn. You like to relate to people in a very structured, progressive way. In relationships, you're very much, where is this relationship going kind of person. If a relationship is always in the process of going on to the next level or doing a very goal-oriented relationships, if you do that, a very structured, goal-oriented relationship with clearly defined terms, you are very happy. That's how you like to relate to others. Sunny, can you answer me this? Can you do this for me? When you do this, and maybe you can do it for that, and maybe that's how you relate to it, and that's exactly how you asked me the question. Transiting Venus, my apology for those watching the video, transiting Venus is going on right now in Gemini. That means we're all talking about it. My apologies. I misspoke. I was saying yours when I meant everybody's. So right now, transiting Venus is in your first house. So this is how we relate to everything. And Venus is how we want to smooth up or try and heal the wound. And so it's in your first house. So we're looking at you. And so anyways, that's what's going on. Venus is in the first house and it's in Gemini. And we're trying to heal this wound, right? Because it's at 28 degrees. We're trying to heal this wound by looking at you in the first house, and we're talking about it. Does that make sense, guys? That's how it works. It doesn't mean, oh my God, I'm not going to love for the next 12 years. Oh my God, for the next 7 years, I'm going to feel pain. Oh my God, this is going to happen. Not at all. It just means this is an open wound in your chart, and the transiting planets are how and when that wound gets addressed, or how and when we poke at the wound. And that's the deal with Chiron, guys. And in this chart, that's where it is. It's right here in the 11th house. So she gets wounded by her friends. And she gets wounded by the competitive nature of her friends. She gets wounded by her friends arguing sometimes. And that's the deal. That's not like that big of a deal. But that's what's going on. When her friends argue, it bugs her. It really upsets her when her friends argue. And that's the action. Nothing too crazy. And that's the deal with Chiron. I'm running out of steam, guys. Any more questions about Chiron before we move on? before we end this video? So once again, Chiron is an open wound. Transiting Chiron is a big deal. Chiron switching signs is a big deal, but it's not a big deal on as much as you think. It's not going to affect you on an emotion. It's not really going to affect you until your chart is opened, until your Chiron is unlocked by a transiting planet. And your Chiron transiting Chiron changing signs has nothing to do with your particular chart. Like, it may not affect you at all, but on a personal level, and on intense, like it's an intense thing, it's probably not going to affect you until it does affect you. But having said that, our entire shift globally is going to change. We're not going to be ashamed anymore. Oh, I gotta sneeze. We're no longer really going to be ashamed about bullying that's happening in the planet. Now, Aries is a bully kind of sign, right? It's not really, so don't misunderstand my language. In Pisces, it's picking on the weak. When the strong picks on the weak, we get really upset and feel shame and want to act against it. Aries is not necessarily the strong picking on the weak. Aries is just posturing. Aries is like, hey, my missile's bigger than your missile. That's what Aries is like. And right now, that kind of talk is going to cause shame for everybody. And Aries is very much a look at me kind of sign, or I'm Aries, I'm the best. And that kind of behavior is going to cause problems right now. And we've already seen it causing problems. And that's the action. Also, one more thing. Whenever someone is upset, that's what's going to happen. Okay, I'll say it again. When Chiron was in Pisces, everyone was saying they shouldn't do that. Right, they were embodying. When someone's wound was, the finger was poked in someone's wound, everyone was saying people shouldn't do like that. They should stick up for the underdog. Is very much what we're coming out of. Now, when this wound is affected, someone's wound on a larger level is affected, people are going to be saying, F you, my missile is bigger than yours. That's what's going to happen, and it's going to spin out. So that's the deal with that. One sec. Rebecca has a question. Question is, okay, so Rebecca has a question. Sunny, if Aries was my third house in the birth chart, is it always in your third house? No. The answer is no. And let's go back and let's look at 2N's chart right here. So I can't change this without showing everybody. I'll change it right here. I'll see if I can do it. So she has Cancer in her first house in New York. Right? In New York, oh wait, let's go back to the chart. Hold on. So this is her natal chart. This is how she was born. You always have this chart. Like, it's not like this chart disappears. It's not like you suddenly born somewhere else. But there are ways we can fudge the chart. There are ways we can change the chart and manipulate it. Very sincere and very serious ways we can manipulate the chart. And I show you how to do that. Like on the workshops, I show you how to do that. And because if you don't have anything in your second house and you want to be super rich, there are things you can do. If you don't have any love or dating or anything in your chart and you really want it, there are things you can do, and you can get super rich. And I'll show you, and I show you guys how to do that. And if you want to know, private reading, right? Or check out the workshops. Now, I'll show you guys. So the question was, if it's in a certain part of the chart, is it always going to be there? And the answer is no. And watch this. Man, I'm going to do this, but then it's going to mess it up. Okay, so it's going to mess up the chart, but we're going to end the video soon. So let's move it from White Plains, New York to Seattle. Thank you. Check it out. You guys are gonna go trippy. Okay, so it was there. Now watch this. Watch this. Suddenly, so we did have Cancer in the first house. Now we have oh, what the hell? This damn thing not working? This thing didn't relocate. Oh, what the hell? This software sucks. Oh, wait a second. I pushed the wrong button. Hold on a second. Hold on. I messed everything up. Okay, watch this. So if I take the chart and I move it here, okay, check it out. So if I do this, you guys ready to trip out? Oh, you guys didn't even see that. Okay, whatever, study. Okay, now here we go. So now I've moved her chart from New York to Seattle. And when in Seattle, all of the houses changed. Did you guys see that? So in Seattle, she's not Cancer in the first house anymore. She's Taurus in the first house. That's one of the ways you can change the planets in the chart. Pretty sneaky, huh? Yeah, well, That's why you pay me the bucks. That's why you pay me the money to come and see me. And so, and then then we put her back in New York. Abracadabra. Ha. Oh man, this video was an hour long. Anyways, that's the action, guys. That's the long blah blah on Chiron, and that's how it works, and that's what it looks like in 2N's charts. So now you know what it means when Chiron is changing signs. It's moving from Pisces to Aries. Now you know how the transiting planets affect it. Now you know when you're going to be affected, how you're going to be affected, what's going on. We'll do little things. If you want to know specifically, we have lots of little videos coming out about that, or you can just message me in the description box and check out a personal reading. It'll be fine, or come to one of our workshops. And that's the action. So that's the lowdown on Chiron, and that's it. From the SunnySide.net. Reminding you, if you want a personal reading, just check out the description box below. By all means, if you want to hang out with one of the live streams, come to the SunnySide and hang out. And if you hang out, just say what's up. And that's the action, guys. From the SunnySide.net, I'm Sunny, wishing everyone the absolute best of a super beautiful day. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys soon.